Hello, and welcome to another vlog. This week's theme is mental health. I'll be releasing a video on Thursday in which I talk in great detail about mental health, what it is, how it's managed, and why it's important to talk about it. But today, I want to talk about mental health and its relationship to disability. That is, how disabilities affect one's mental health. And to do it, I'm joined by my friend Daniel Pat. Daniel is a blogger on a mission to get people to talk openly and honestly about mental health. Check out his blog, Theory of Love, by visiting the website in the description.
Hey there, my name's Daniel. So I'm a fourth year Carleton University sociology student, and I have a special interest in mental health. So I have a stutter. You can't hear it now because it's actually kind of a funny thing. When people who stutter speak to themselves, or speak to the camera, or when they sing for that matter, they don't stutter. So I mean, yeah, I'm not stuttering right now, but in person, if you're speaking to me, another person, or even another person on the webcam, if we're having a conversation, I would be stuttering.
So, in today's episode, we're going to be answering four main questions. How has your disability affected your mental health? What mental health challenges do you face? How did you recognize your mental health challenges? And how do you manage your mental health? So, let's jump right into it. How does your disability affect your mental health? The main way in which my disability has affected my mental health is that it's caused me to have a lot of anxieties, especially in relation to my physical health.
um, my stutter has affected my mental health, and my disability has affected my mental health because um, even because it's it's made me feel isolated, marginalized. And when I was a kid, like in school, I was bullied pretty badly in grade 5, 6, 7, 8. Um, in partly because not directly because of my speech, but because of how my speech made me feel um, kind of self-conscious in a way, and kind of it made me retreat into my own self. Right? It didn't make I couldn't be who I wanted to be, so I was bullied, for being quiet, or being or when I was myself and I stuttered. I was bullied because of my stutter, but that wasn't the main factor. The main factor was, um, you know, me kind of trying to, I guess, compensate for my stutter in how I was acting, or rather, how I felt I needed to compensate for how I was. For the inadequacy that I felt because of my speech.
What mental health challenges do you face? Like I said, I have a lot of anxieties. I worry continuously about things that are beyond my control, especially in relation to my health. For example, Duchenne muscular dystrophy, the condition that I have, is considered a life threatening disability. And so, because of that, I'll worry a lot about my life expectancy. I also have an enlarged heart as part of my Duchenne muscular dystrophy, so I worry a lot about that. If I have mild chest pain, sometimes I might worry that I'm having a heart attack, even when it's very obvious that I'm not. I'm also a bit of a hypochondriac, so I worry a lot about getting sick, and because of that, I take a lot of precautions to keep myself healthy, and I'm very anal about my hygiene. And those are just some of the health related anxieties. I also have everyday anxieties. So I worry about the future. What if this happens? What if that happens? And I worry about a lot of little things. Did I lock the door? Did I offend so and so when I said such and such? And even though I've never actually been diagnosed with an anxiety disorder, these anxieties can become very intrusive into my day to day life.
I feel as though I feel as though I I still feel isolated. I still feel alone from time to time, actually, kind of regularly. Um, I find it hard to go out and, mingle and meet new friends and, do that when it's a big group. I guess I have a bit of social anxiety. I don't know, but well, I know that I do. I don't know if I have the actual quote unquote condition of it. I know that I to experience the condition. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, I find that difficult, and I think part of it is due to I feel these feelings of like inadequacy because of my speech, and I shouldn't, and I know that I shouldn't. I'm preaching it, but I still feel that way. Um, I think, I just feel like how can I even get up and, make a big speech in front of people? Like, how do I know what like I'm talking about when, I'm going to stumble over all these words? And it doesn't make sense saying it out loud, but, that's probably how I feel, right? Like my confidence just kind of shot to a certain extent, not like shot in like the like leg, right? Like not, in like the heart, but just, it's a bit, my confidence is dampened. See, there we go, stutter, because of that, right? Because of the stigma and all this stuff. So I'm still facing that stuff. I'm still facing my mental health challenges and my demons, that sort of stuff, and I'm still kind of like learning how to cope and stuff.
How did you recognize your mental health challenges? So, for me, I began to notice that my anxieties were becoming more and more frequent. And eventually I realized that this wasn't right and I needed to do something about it. And for me, this was a very logical decision and a very natural decision for me to make. But for a lot of people, asking for help can be a very difficult thing. But I want to stress that if you are having a serious mental health crisis, to please get help. Um, because it is important not to let something like that go because it can have serious consequences. So if you are struggling with your mental health, please talk to someone.
I guess when I feel more unstable or more alone or more vulnerable, I can feel, you know, my mental my mental unhealth kind of coming on. That's when I can feel it.
So finally, how do you manage your mental health? About a year and a half ago, I referred myself to a psychiatrist, and I'm really glad I did because it really helped me to deal with my anxieties. My psychiatrist and I worked together to come up with some strategies to better manage my anxieties. And then we took those strategies and we put them together into a relapse prevention plan to help prevent my anxieties from getting worse. So, some of the strategies that we talked about were replacing negative thoughts with positive thoughts and rationalizing. That is, asking yourself, what is the likelihood that this is going to happen? And just looking at things from a logical point of view. And these are strategies that I've always employed to manage my anxieties, but my psychiatrist helped me to build on them and find new ways to use them to better manage my anxieties. And in addition to those strategies that my psychiatrist helped me to develop, I also do daily meditation. I meditate 10 minutes a day. And although that seems very trivial, it's a great way to relax yourself and clear your mind of some of those nagging thoughts that just make life more difficult than it should be. So those are some of the strategies that work for me. Obviously, they don't work for everyone, but they work for me. And they're strategies that I use every day and will continue to use to manage my anxieties.
I'm still kind of learning and I'm disciplining myself and I'm trying to kind of get into a pattern where like the second that like I feel I don't know alone or isolated or depressed or something, I go out and I don't just sit in my bed. I don't just watch Netflix. I don't just be by myself. I kind of cut it off like right from like the head, and I um and I, try to get involved in an activity. Like I'm involved in, my school's theater group, and they're an amazing group of people. I try to involve myself in social things, and I find that really helps. But yeah, just not giving into kind of the darkness, or not giving into feeling alone, right? Not giving into that, even though it might seem the easiest option, and it is the easiest option when you're in that mindset, when you're in that state. But it's not going to help you in the long run. It's like quick gratification. That being alone is like that, but it's not going to help you in the long run, right? It's not a long-term solution, yeah. And so to do with that, yeah. And so to do with that, I've come up with a product called Theory of Love. So we all feel connected. We all want to feel connected. We all want to feel, valued. We all want to feel, like we belong. But due to stigma of, anything but like being super fit, and being, like due to the stigma of anything other than survival of the fittest, and being strong, and being mentally stable, and not having flaws, because with the whole mantra of the survival of the fittest, it's those people who get cut first, right? So we don't talk about our insecurities, we don't talk about our vulnerabilities, and ironically that makes a whole vicious cycle, because we don't want to feel alone. We want to feel loved. We want to feel isolated, but we don't talk about the things that get us starting to feel that way, like our vulnerabilities, and like our, if we're having issues in different spheres of our lives, then we don't talk about that, and that makes us feel more alone, even more alone. Uh, than how we would be feeling just with that, right? Otherwise, or even if we talked about that would help, but we would still kind of feel upset. But I think that if we just talk about it, then that helps. We can all help us get to that place where we can just manage it a bit better, bit better, just even a bit, through the help of everybody else, right? So I've made a hashtag called hashtag I am real. So please, I'm tired of feeling alone. So, and I'm sure everyone else is too. So I'll just use the hashtag and make a vulnerable post or a video. Thank you.
I hope that everyone watching found this vlog very useful. I want to thank Daniel Pat for reaching out to me to collaborate on this week's vlog. I think this is a great way to educate people about mental health and to help rid the stigma that surrounds mental health, and to help those who are suffering with mental health challenges. So I hope you enjoyed this vlog, and if you did, I hope you'll subscribe to our YouTube channel to see more videos. Thanks for watching, and see you on Thursday.